got Mike Huckabee here, former presidential candidate, former governor of Arkansas. Good to see you, sir. We were talking in the break, and you made the point that what surprised you was how quickly and I guess you could say urgently, and how much, in terms of where they went, the media reacted to this. Is that going to last?
Hard to say. But I think the media has to accept some responsibility for the big lie that they have been telling for months now, and that is that Joe is top of his game, sharpest he's ever been, just absolutely amazing. You've had people from Joe Scarborough all the way down to the panelist on CNN defending him, and even using the exact words of the White House talking points when Karine Jean-Pierre came out and said, well, these videos of him wandering off on the stage and stumbling around and ghost handshake, those are cheap fakes. And suddenly everyone on television started talking about cheap fakes, just as if they were instructed to do it. Well, last night, that was live. There was no editing. We all saw it, and no longer can they say that was a cheap fake. And so I think it put the media back on their heels, and they had to admit that what they'd been seeing is exactly what they had been seeing.
Well, and to a certain point, the media loves nothing more than themselves and their credibility. So there you go. There was a lot of ammunition ready to go on Trump being unhinged and Trump being too aggressive and on and on and on and on. And they didn't use it partly because Donald Trump didn't do it, partly because Biden was a bigger story. It was a very disciplined Donald Trump. And then today at the rallies, we got this about electric planes.
All they know is electric. They want electric army tanks. They want electric planes. What happens if the sun isn't shining while you're up in the air?
Why? Why not just give your standard stump speech?
Well, that is his standard stump speech. Donald Trump loves the sarcasm. He's as much an entertainer in these rallies as he is trying to give a political speech. That's why people flock to him by the tens of thousands, because they're having a great time when they go. And it's part show and it's part rally. But, you know, Donald Trump is going to always be able to throw some things like out there. And that was just, to me, kind of a funny line. I mean, he wasn't. Here's the problem.
Okay,
when people take Donald Trump seriously on everything he says as if he's literally saying it, they're always going to be standing around with their pants in a wad. They're going to have to just relax a little bit and say, this is a guy who goes out there and he's speaking to his audience, he's having a good time, and he wants them to have a good time. And he's going to use his sense of humor. He's got one. I've been around him even more so in private than he is in public. He's a hilarious guy, and I know people don't think that, but he is. And so when he goes out there and says stuff like that, listen to the audience reaction. They get it.
Yeah, no, they get it. And look, there's something to a sense of comedy and a sense of timing and entertaining. I think he said in the 1980s to Playboy magazine, it's the Trump show. It's sold out everywhere. He gets it. This was interesting. I thought the look on his face last night said a lot when Biden went after him about his alleged relationship with Stormy Daniels. Take a listen.
How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
There was one smirk, but for a guy who always talks about how he's a counterpuncher, what did his staff say? If you can do it in 30 seconds, I would appreciate it. That finally, after 8 years, got through to him.
I don't think it was anything his staff said. I think he sat through a trial for 7 weeks. He didn't jump over the table and grab Judge Merchan by the neck, which I'm sure he was tempted to do. So I think it was good preparation. And he realized there was nothing he needed to do to beat Joe Biden other than let Joe talk. He didn't take Joe's bait. Everyone thought he would. I didn't. And he didn't.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.